Hey, I'm Mac of Devoted Christian, and I'm doing my challenge on prospecting. Is it biblical? So, the first question is the prospecting phase in a club, biblical? I say yes. Becoming a Christian means dying to your old self and becoming someone new. You are a clean slate. Whenever you decide to join a club, you have to humble yourself and become a clean slate as well. You got to be able to be molded and built up, and the only way to do that is to become clean again. Become less than you were. Shed the old stuff. um, you need to know that it is just more than you now, because you're becoming someone that's needing to rely on other people to carry forward a common goal. um, So you learn by growing. You learn by, the only way to do that is to start from the ground up. Uh, you humble yourself to authority to gain knowledge, because the only way to even gain knowledge is to sit down, be quiet, and listen to what other people that know have to say. Um, you learn how to serve others and become a brother serving others, by serving them first, and then you serve others together. Um, and or fellow men. Uh, you surround you surrender to authority and understand how and what needs to be done, so that one day you can show others, so that you can grow and you can be a leader. Um, this all creates a bond between brothers and Christians. So brothers as Christians, brothers as brothers in a club. And my verse for that is Proverbs 27:17, which is, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. All right, so second question is, what would be an example of prospecting in the Bible? Well, so to me, that would be the 12 disciples, the 12 apostles, that dropped everything to follow Jesus. They left their lives to do what they needed to do with Jesus. And again, they didn't know. They had to literally humble themselves and become less than who they were to be built up the correct way. So shed their old lives. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't. But they humbled themselves to Jesus and his teachings and became brothers to each other and learned humility to their community and to themselves and to whoever they were around, so their neighbors. So my verse for that is Matthew 10:42. And let me look that up real quick. Uh, and if anyone gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones, who is my disciple, truly I tell you, that person will certainly not lose their reward. Now, Jesus went on, this is the last bit of what Jesus was saying in there, but, he went on through this whole chapter talking about how you should be as a disciple and how you should act even when he's not around. And that, to me, just that that's also how it should be in the club, that you have an accountability with each other, but then you're also by yourself too. And so I put the one in there about the cup because that was the disciples, and that he was cherished by them. They were cherished by him, I mean. And but when no one's around, you need to be accountable for yourself, and you need to be accountable for your brothers when they slip and fall. You need to be able to help them and tell them if they're doing wrong or right, or just love on them. So that's kind of what I get from that. But the 12 apostles are the ones that I think of. All right, so number 3. What is my definition of prospecting? When does prospecting end? my definition. Okay. To me, prospecting is to constantly learn and grow to move towards a goal. You may achieve your goal, but then there are more goals, and a new set of challenges all the time. You always are learning and using skills that you have been taught. You never really end with being a prospect ever. So, and the saying when I first became a prospect for Devoted was once a prospect, always a prospect. So it never ends. It doesn't. It just goes different levels, you know. Um, so yeah, my oh, I got more to it. Sorry. So by using the skills that you've been taught in these new challenges and referring back to your old ways the things that you learned at the very beginning of starting to prospect, never goes away. You never really end with being a prospect. Also, you lean on brothers that have more knowledge than you to help you. Always. And I've really come to learn that, and it's awesome. So Ephesians 4:1-6 would be my verse for that. All right. And this is Paul talking about as a prisoner. As a prisoner for the Lord, then I urge you to live a life worthy of the calling you have received. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, just as you were called to one hope when you were called, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and one Father of all, who is over all and through all and in all. So basically, it's how you need to be, how you need to act, what you need to do. And remember that once you're a part of something, you're prospecting for something, that you have to remember that you are part of one. Okay. So even though you're a crew and there's, 10, 15, 20 guys, whatever, no, you're one crew and you have to act as such. So you have to be accountable for everything that you do. All right. So number 4, what biblical character best represents the heart of a prospect? Okay, for me was Paul. Paul, I say Paul because he started out bad, terrible as Saul, and God got a hold of him, changed him, and when he was changed, he started from anew. He started from a person he didn't even know who he was, and he was molded and shaped through all the teachings of God or of Jesus, and developed a love, developed a brotherhood with other people. I mean, disciplined when he needed to discipline, but also humbled himself to the point to where he learned new skills as not being afraid to do what he needed to do, and just remembering to lean on other people when he needed to. So my verses for that is Colossians 3:12-17. Oop. There we go. Colossians 3:12-17. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any one of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Now, he didn't know any of that as Saul. He learned all of that becoming a follower of Christ. And he had to build himself from the ground up, because he was nothing when those scales fell off his eyes, but to God he was everything. But he had to learn the skills to become who he was, who ended up writing most of the New Testament. So that's why I think he's the perfect example of a prospect, and he never stopped learning. Never stopped striving. So that's what we have to do as prospects. That's what all of us have to do as brothers, as Christians, as club members, as men, as husbands, fathers, that you can never stop striving. So learning new things, leaning on brothers, and just having a great community of brothers to do what you need to do and establish a goal and conquer it. So thank you. I hope you like this.